So we have a Woodmizer LT40 with the accuset system, and unfortunately I lost the keys. So for the low price of about 40 bucks shipped to my house, Woodmizer of Pennsylvania was nice enough to send me a new switch. So let's see what we have to do to change this. First we have to pull the screws and take this panel off. All right, there's the back of the panel. So now let's get this weather cover off. We'll take this screw loose. And we will get this switch out so we can see where it is. So here's the back of the switch, the same as our other one. And it's pretty corroded. So let's get a socket set and see if we can take those off. I'll bring you over here and show you what it looks like. We'll get the right size here eventually. 3/8. So not to create any confusion, the back of this is labeled. And we're going to hook these up one at a time. So we just took off the ignition screw. Cut this zip tie out of our way first. Give us a little more room. That's better. No, just electrically tight is fine. We don't want to snap the stud off in the plastic. This one's labeled accessory. So we'll move over here and we'll find our accessory now. Sounds like there's a chipmunk or something wrestling here in the weeds. All right, one more to go. And then we'll hook our ground back up at the end. And of course, this one is all good and rotted. As you can see, there's nothing left of that. So let's go find a tool and try and cut that off. All right, so we're back. I can't find my battery grinder to try and cut the stud off, but I have a battery roll-lock disc tool. And I think this might work. Let's give it a whirl. See if we can't cut it with a pair of side cutters. The disc grinder is working, but it's just slow. Can't get a bite with the cutters, so we'll just keep going with the grinding disc. It's hot. Watch grabbing something like that. So as you can see, all we did was we just ground that stud off until the rusted nut was gone. Now while I have it here, I'll clean the corrosion up. stud we ground off was our battery. So now on the new one, we will hook up to our battery. Trying to get you a good angle of this, but I don't think it's working. All right, all we got left now is to hook up our center ground. Put this ignition switch back through the slot, which will be easier said than done. There it is. Tighten that back down. Put a few screws in this. Now, as I'm looking at this new cover won't accept the weather-resistant rubber. So I'm going to see if we can change the nut out to the other style so we can put that rubber dust cover back on. I think we are in luck. All right, so now we'll put this cover on. We'll find our key. Well, it sounds like it might work. Let's take the cover off the motor and see if it runs. We got gas. little low on battery, but we got the ignition switch hooked up. So we'll finish putting these screws back, and then we'll go get a jump box to get this thing running. But that, folks, is how you change an ignition switch, on your LT40 Woodmizer with accuset when you lose your keys over the winter. Pretty straightforward job. If that one bolt hadn't been corroded on the stud real bad, it would have been even easier. Just a 3/8 socket and a Phillips screwdriver. It's April here in Pennsylvania, so is it still April? Yeah, it's the last day of April. So we got wasps out and bees out, and all the flying critters are back to life.